URBANSCREEN started in 2005 and was founded as an artist collective. We figured out a way to accurately project on architecture so that we can create unique video art which perfectly fits onto the architecture. One project that is quite famous was in 2009. It's called 555 Cubic. The project took place in Hamburg at the Kunsthalle. It's an architecture by Oswald Matthias Ungers, and he created the building by applying a grid of solely cubes, and we applied the video we created and started having the stones moving out of their grid.
This effect worked pretty well, so it was a totally amazing new experience visual-wise for the audience. I was working at the theater as a visual artist, and I get to know URBANSCREEN on the street. Like, I saw some works of them, and yeah, I liked the way they totally fit things onto the architecture. So this was an amazing step for me to combine like public space experience with visual art. There was one which was very impressive, which is called Jump, one of the early ones. And you saw like people jumping on a facade, a little larger in scale than normal people, but you don't really get it. So they jumped up the house and climbed across the wall. And this was like a very strong impact of human beings interacting with public space.
And one thing about it which is really interesting, I guess, is that actually it had kind of a component of also a live theater or performance, because there were actors, as Max said, who were climbing on the facade, and they could go in and out of the windows, so that people were actually not quite sure what's happening there, if it's in terms of being a performance or being a video screening.
A very interesting thing is that it's a totally new form of art media. So it's like two layers. One is the building, which is like remaining and fixed, so everyone knows it, and you mix it up with a certain new layer of art or visual art.
I think it's the most famous building we've been working on yet. It's definitely a big job. As these shapes of the Opera House are only round shapes, there are not so many edges and points where you can attach your video on. In this case, we will have to figure out a way where we can physically transform or alter the architecture by relying on these round shapes and the grid which is applied by the tiles of the architecture.
I think it's one of the most interesting architectures, modern architectures you find in the world. So it's definitely great to work on it.
It's such a famous building. We have to find an artistic approach which is not that obvious in terms of using imagery, which everybody kind of knows. So I guess we will try and search footage and details which are not that obvious, and try to relate it to the architecture and find a way in giving it another view and offering another view onto this architecture to experience in a different way.